Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today on this exclusive webinar by AdTech and Snapchat on drivers of growth, camera marketing. The Drivers of Growth series seeks to bring to you the latest technologies and strategies that are bringing marketers to the forefront of growth exercises for brands. Today, we talk about the camera and how it can really transform marketing into an experiential consumer journey. The camera is no longer simply a hardware that captures moments. It is also a powerful technology which people are using to unlock interactive as well as immersive digital experiences, which are not only entertaining and shareable, but grabs attention, offers value, and is retainable. In a world where the real challenge for marketers is consumer attention and driving conversation, AR with its unimaginable capabilities reshapes how businesses can tell a story, connect, engage, and convert. The AR, as we know today, is just scratching the surface, so stay tuned with us to learn how big the opportunity really is. But before we begin our first session, let me give a big shout out to Snapchat for partnering with us in this initiative. Thank you, Snapchat. Without much ado, let's get on with the webinar. Our first session today talks about understanding augmented reality for marketers. And we have with us Gabriel Delva, AR Solutions Partner at Snapchat. Gabriel is a seasoned industry veteran, having spent time at Google, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. She's passionate about content marketing, social media, and product innovation, and currently works across functions at Snap to drive adoption, as well as assist partners in demystifying and appreciating the magic and utility of augmented reality. Over to you, Gabriel. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Delva, and I am an AR Solutions lead here at Snap. That's an official way of saying I work with brands such as yourselves to help them demystify and appreciate the magic and utility of augmented reality. At Snap, our camera is well known for fun, playful, expressive experiences, like this hummingbird drinking nectar from a flower that's blossoming in your hand. Or this example from India of a dinosaur creating chaos in the street. But as you may know, it can also be used to inspire Snapchatters to try and buy. Whether it's shoes, bags, clothes, makeup, jewelry, or interior design, with Snap AR, you can shorten the gap between virtual and real life, making shopping easier, better, and more personalized. According to the Harvard Business Review, which cited a Shopify study, interacting with products that have AR experiences lead to 94% higher conversion rates, as individuals can better assess products and feel connected with brands. This makes sense because consumers often list the inability to see and try out products as the most significant factor that turns them off online shopping. What this all boils down to is customer experience. It always does, doesn't it? Consumers continuously expect more personalized and engaging experiences that enable them to interact with the world. Already, 100 million customers are shopping with AR online and in stores. AR adoption is tracking with the mobile usage boom. By 2025, about 40% of the Gen Z and millennial population in India will be frequent AR users. Time and time again, history has shown us that the companies that embrace these trends can become dominant industry players. That's exactly why every business needs an AR strategy, or more specifically, a Snap AR strategy. Our goal for today is to inspire and assure you that incorporating your product into AR is accessible and moreover drives return. And the best news, we are building the most powerful camera so that you don't have to. Between Lens Studio and Lens Web Builder, two of our AR development tools, we are democratizing the creation of AR. Lens Web Builder is incredibly easy to use. Brands and agencies can create branded AR experiences starting with pre-populated templates. No coding experience required. You can choose from a library of hundreds of 3D objects, animations, and effects to build your own custom branded AR lens. You can also upload your own 2D assets, such as logos and images, to further customize the AR experience. The templates and interface are intuitive to use and navigate because we built the foundation with businesses like yours in mind so that you don't have to start from scratch. The same is true of Lens Studio. While built for more enhanced lens creation, that doesn't make it any more difficult to start with. It also has built-in features including templates, custom shaders, and advanced tracking technology. The possibilities are endless. And in fact, I've seen creators churn out lenses in under 15 minutes. And when it comes to production, there are a range of creative approaches and complexities based on your brand's needs, objectives, timing, and budget. Efficacy isn't determined by production approach, but by understanding your audience, building the right creative, and distributing with the right targeting. In fact, we've seen that Snapchatters who experienced a shoppable lens were 2.4 times more likely to purchase than those who did not. And Snapchatters who saw a lens drove 14% higher sales than those who only saw a video. So let's take a look at a real-life example of our simple Lens Studio templates in action. This is a popular organic lens that was created by Cyrene Q in Lens Studio, which attaches a crocodile to your foot. And FYI, this is my foot and my dog in the video. While this looks extremely technical and complicated, it's actually powered by our shoe try-on template, allowing you to create in minutes. This same template powered the technology behind sponsored shoe try-on lens campaign by athletic footwear company Hoka One One. As a consumer trends shift to more virtual try-ons, Hoka One One wanted to encourage shoppers to try on their new running shoe without needing to leave their living room. To make this scalable goal possible, they used the shoe try-on template in Lens Studio to help build out their 3D AR experience. Once completed, they delivered the lens to their target audience through paid media. The results? The share rate of Hoka One One's lens was nearly 6 times the Snapchat retail benchmark and 82% more efficient cost per share versus the Snap retail benchmark. So a highly successful campaign. By using the shoe try-on template in Lens Studio, your brand could build and customize your own AR shoe try-on experience within minutes. The only requirement for this template is a 3D file of your shoe. Once you upload that into the shoe try-on template, Lens Studio will take over from there by translating your asset into a machine learning experience before your very eyes and your feet. Now users will be able to try on your shoe product. And if you're not a shoe brand, don't worry. We have over 60 other templates to help you build simple lenses in Lens Studio today. So as you can see, the brands who are leaning into AR via our ecosystem are doing extraordinary things and seeing massive success. But there is so much opportunity for more brands to dive in. It's not too late to be a leader and get first mover benefits. And the best part, we can help. We have the technical know-how and the products and solutions to make it easy for you to get started. Snapchat was built for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabrielle, for that insightful session and helping us understand how a range of creative approaches can really come together to build your brand's needs and requirements and drive efficacy. Moving on, our next session will talk about how innovation and creativity together are helping brands drive marketing in today's fast-moving world. To find out how, I'd like to call on our next set of speakers. So let me welcome Irene Joshi, who's the Regional Creative Head at Kantar Insights, APAC. Irene is a social anthropologist with over 20 years of experience that spans research, advertising, and marketing. She leads the creative domain team across the region. Let me also welcome Ajay PV, who is leading the Flipkart Camera project. Ajay was the co-founder at Scapic, an augmented reality startup that was acquired by Flipkart in November 2020. Currently, he leads the Flipkart Camera team. Also joining us today is Khushbu Baderia, who's the AVP Business Strategy at Sokrati. Khushbu leads socials capability at Sokrati, driving innovation and technology to help clients use their resources across social platforms more effectively. And Also joining us is Samrat Datta, who's the National Sales Head at Tyro. Samrat has 15 years of experience in various disciplines, including media and digital. His previous stints have been with organizations like InfoEdge, Hindustan Times, Comely, and many more. At Tyro, he supports cross-functional teams to drive revenue at scale. And to moderate this session, let me welcome Swagata Palharia, Global Business Expansion Lead, India and Southeast Asia at Snapchat. Swagata works closely with Snapchat's reseller in the market and engages with Snapchat's top advertisers across verticals. Welcome, Swagata, and a huge welcome to all the speakers. Over to you.
Thank you, Shiny. Hello, all. It is with great pleasure that I welcome all of you and our esteemed panelists. Today, we will help you understand how the immersive power of augmented reality will create breakthrough marketers of the future. Our panel will help us comprehend how to win with augmented reality as a marketer by understanding all the aspects of the augmented reality ecosystem, including and not limited to creating immersive brand experiences, efficiency, and effectiveness of AR ads, and most importantly, getting AR measurements right. In today's busy marketing environment, it is very crucial to understand that creative strategy does not always mean developing world-class creatives, but also includes understanding the behavioral traits of the consumer, including their dwindling attention span, and solving for that. And when we talk about solving for lower attention spans, we cannot ignore the power of AR and its integration with marketing. So, I open up the panel with my first question to all the panelists here. How do you think brands are winning with innovation and creativity in today's experience world? Ajay, would you like to go first?
Sure. Thank you, Swagata. Firstly, thanks for having me here. It's a brilliant question. We are living in a world today where we are faced with abundant data all over us. We see content throughout our digital mediums, and it is becoming increasingly evident for brands to stand out whenever they want to do their campaigns. It started with content 1.0 when it was a textual content medium, then content 2.0, which is what we are mostly living in today, which is visual. It includes images, videos, GIFs. But what will make content stand out in the future is going to be immersive content, or what we call as content 3.0. As you rightly said, creativity and innovation is what is going to make a brand stand out in terms of the content they're going to put out to their consumers, which includes augmented reality. Immersive marketing is going to add a new flavor to content by enhancing the creativity and innovation of content, not just in terms of storytelling and in terms of storyboard and the content in itself, but also the content format, which will make it much more immersive for the audience to consume the content.
Thank you, Ajay. Maybe Irene, would you like to take lead on this and give us your thoughts?
Thanks, Swagata, and thank you so much for having us here. I tend to agree with Ajay because I think there's definitely been a shift from brands having for the longest time monologues to inviting consumers into a dialogue, and now it's gone even further with user-generated content, the rise of influencers, and of course in all of this the emergence of the might of the camera. If we earlier spoke about the might of the pen, today I think it's the camera that's taken over. Overall, there's been an increase in focus on drawing people into brand conversations, into the brand world. So yes, getting more and more immersive is absolutely the writing on the wall. However, at the marketeer end, I think a question that every marketeer is asking of new media, new platforms is, one, how efficient is it in being able to grab attention? How well can it generate affinity for the brand among its target audience or consumers? What is the power of that platform or that medium to be able to generate acquisitions? and therefore then trigger advocacy. So if we are able to build that, and I think there's been a lot of innovation in the last couple of years, and I guess the pandemic has just accelerated it further. But just being able to ensure that at both ends of the spectrum, at the marketer end and the consumer end, there is increasing rise in attention, affinity, acquisition, and advocacy. I guess we are then poised to grow even further by leaps and bounds.
Thank you so much, Irene. Maybe Khushbu, can you share your thoughts, please?
Sure. Thank you so much, guys. I think I've heard Irene and Ajay talking about it. I think and I couldn't agree more to each and every point. I just want to kind of add on to a couple of more pointers and thoughts from my side as well. And especially like the world that we are in right now from last couple of years, almost like 2 years, with the COVID situation being in the picture, right? I think the entire market has evolved from looking for more and more interaction from brand, because of course we can't be physically there in the stores or physically, can experience these things. So I think it is very important for us to for a user to experience those things in any way possible, right? And I feel a lot of these short form videos or maybe podcast kinds, and of course the immersive reality kind of becomes very very critical in this user journey to engage with their user and to kind of get them to at least initiate that user journey with a brand right today. So I feel that I think these are very critical things, and of course thinking from customer centric first end to an experience of a user, I think this is going to be the crucial thing in the coming quarter and coming years.
Thank you so much, Khushbu. Samrat, what are your thoughts on this?
Great. So, I mean, I've heard some very interesting aspects of various other co-panelists of us. Now, having said that, as we all know that creativity and innovation have always been an integral aspect for brands. Though, in the last few years, we have seen that storytelling via creative innovations has seen a multifold growth, and augmented reality is a great solution for that. Having said that, why we think so? It's interactive, it's highly engaging, it delivers at a scale and drives objectives while keeping the fun element intact, which is very important for the consumers. Now, be it a serious crypto brand or a fun loving confectionery brand, they all are empowering their user engagement via AR to achieve their business goals. Uh, in the most important part, the technology is such that it amplifies experiences and engagement for consumers, whether it's product trials of a particular brand or a virtual tours or bridging the geographies or just sharing the memorable experiences. So having said that, um, in my own words, it's actually helping brands effectively translate creativity and innovations and still driving the meaningful impact that the brands are looking at. Yet, I would say we are yet to see a lot of untapped AR opportunity to capture in India.
Thank you. Thank you, Samrat. And thank you, everyone, for your insights. Irene, I want to ask you, as a marketer, augmented reality still remains an untapped opportunity. How do you think we can solve for it?
Wow. Okay. I think once I've answered this question, I should then charge royalty on behalf of Kanta for this answer. But I guess, like any new tech, new innovation, AR also is going to have its adoption trajectory. And an interesting case in point would be if I look at digital media spends and the predictions from industry gurus, it's pegged at 137 odd billion by 2022. AR, on the other hand, is pegged at a 16 billion, right? So that itself tells you that where we are, and therefore the journey is exciting, definitely. It's taken some very popular digital platforms, roughly 8 years to become the size that they are. So being able to get active users, not the occasional, glorified, absolutely awed by the technology kind of random users, but continuous users who adopt it and high frequency users will definitely take time. And I think there are four aspects to it. First one is being able to provide access to everybody. And in a country like India, access is key because you're not just targeting one tiny proportion of a metro dweller. You need to have sizable scalability. And hence, access is important. The second one is the ease of usage. So how quickly can technology evolve that it becomes as simple as a click of a button? The user experience is the next aspect of it, because trust me, and especially so the discerning consumer in India is not going to buy into or sign up for anything just because it's seen as cool. They might adopt it and discard it, pretty soon. So I think building that user experience is critical. From a marketer's lens, being able to generate enough number of use cases as testimony is going to be the next big thing. Now, to overlay all of over all of this, if I was to look at, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an AR expert, but if we were to just look at data points which give us sufficient objective data on the return on investment behind concerted efforts on AR. Now, I think that's missing. And once that is provided and marketeers see that there's very clear ROI, I guess then it speeds things up. Some categories will naturally lend itself, right? For example, beauty. And you're seeing beauty brands embrace AR, embrace VR pretty quickly. Retailers, automotive industry, they are bound to be early adopters. But how do we go beyond them and expand the ambit of marketeers and invite them into this game is going to be critical, and that's what will accelerate it.
Thank you so much, Areen. Ajay, can you share your thoughts on this, please?
Sure, Swagata. I think I can't agree more with what Irene said. Like she said, any technology goes through its own phase and curve of adoption cycle. We have seen this happen with digital content as well. I've grown seeing social platforms being one of the catalyzers for adopting digital content. Otherwise, brands were mainly relying on newspaper ads or textual ads, or it could be television ads. So we have seen that shift in the last decade, where brands have very consciously moved to digital content. Even in digital content, it started with simple digital content and then started with maybe posters and then videos. Today, we're living in a phase where we are talking about short videos and different kind of videos. I think there is an entire decade which has gone into making what digital adoption for brands happen. Now, AR will also have its own cycle. We are just hoping that it will be much faster than probably a decade, and we have all signs to see it, because every other top brand today has some sort of augmented reality campaign or the other making it happen. But to answer your question on what will make it even more bigger and what will make it much more, drive more adoption than today, I think I agree to what Irene said, but just to add a complementary perspective, these are the three A's that I call, right? One is awareness, second is affordability, and third is adoption. I think first is most important is awareness. Brands today need to be aware of, they know that there is something called augmented reality. They know that maybe it's something cool, it's something immersive, but that's just not it. They need to understand, like Irene said, the details of what kind of use cases can be covered in augmented reality, what kind of benefits can it add, because a wrong usage of augmented reality can hurt the industry itself. So brands need to be very well aware of the entire augmented reality as a technology, as a concept, and how they better can use it. The second is affordability. There are already a lot of brands who are using AR for their campaigns, but if you see any of their digital channels, the non-AR content is much more than the AR content, and that speaks volumes about the affordability as well. Today, in creating an AR content for a brand, probably it takes 10, 15x more than what it takes for you to create a normal, good digital content. And this is again something that time will solve. The cost at which you could have created digital content 5, 6 years back, 8 years back, it's not the same now. It's very much reduced. And this is going to change by the advent of tools which will make creation of these content much more easier, just like what Snapchat is doing with Lens Studio as well. It needs to be even more simplified. It needs to be, there need to be more creators as well. There need to be more adoption in terms of people who can create this and have the skill set to create. So that will solve the whole affordability problem. Because once that is solved, every marketer, I think, will agree that at the end of it, budget or money is still playing in their mind, no matter whatever how cool the use case is, how good the storyboard is, or whatever traction it can generate. Budget is very important because ROI drives success for any marketer. So affordability should be, I think, there. I think we are still not there where AR is very affordable that you can make it available for all kinds of content. And that's, I think, going to be solved with the advent of new tools and more skill set being built in creating AR content. The last is, of course, adoption, which Irene touched in depth as well. But just to quickly cover, I think the consumers need to be also be aware of what AR is and how it can impact them, and brands need to be aware that it's a chicken and egg problem. For adoption to be good, good content needs to be created, and for brands to be willing to invest in good content, there needs to be good adoption. So somewhere brands have to, and I'm so happy that top brands in the world have already taken the strides to lead the charge and create great content and set the entire industry for success. So I think these are the three levers in which there is progress happening. But once all of it moves in a faster pace, I see augmented reality becoming very synonymous with not just one of the top launches of the brands or one or two launches of the brand, but I think a majority of the content will start coming out of augmented reality itself.
Thank you so much, Ajay. It was really insightful. Khushbu, do you have some thoughts to share here?
Of course, I think while working with Socrates in the last couple of years and working with so many clients across different industries, right? One thing that I've observed, or at least what we practice at Socrates, is to be the first one to try out these innovations, but along with measurability, right? So, like a few of us spoke about it already, right? Measurability becomes very, very critical for any innovation that we get in or we bring in terms of in the user journey, right? Be it you talk about any kind of creative innovation, any kind of tool innovation or technology, to optimize performance or optimize the media, every penny of media spends, right? I feel on top of it, I feel that brands needs to also look at how consumers are reacting to that to the technology, right? If it is not easy to adopt, if it is not easy to use, and if my target audience is not that audience who kind of engage with that kind of technology, right, it's not going to be a successful technology or innovation for us. I think considering the next phase of our target audience or the huge pool of target, which is Gen Z, right? I think it's going to be pretty huge success because I think they're very, I think that particular segment as an audience are very pro towards using these tools and these new features and new gadgets of any sorts, right? So I think that can be very, very critical. And if brands are focusing on that particular market segment, I think it will be very easy for them to adopt to these kind of technology. At the same time, I feel AR needs to be more localized. Like we spoke about, a lot of these brands are adopting it. A lot of top brands are adopting it. At the same time, I think they would want it to be more as per their requirement, as per their target audience, and not just about that a particular automobile industry has used a certain kind of AR, right? And it has been kind of getting repetitive about it. That's another point that I wanted to make about it. And of course, kind of marrying that particular entire creative strategy or entire that innovation into a right fit campaign strategy for that particular brand to make it a success, right? Sometimes it happens that we would have like amazingly beautiful creative, but it would not perform because we have not mapped it to a right campaign strategy. So that is also very, very critical, I feel. And I think lastly, I would want to touch upon the personalization of it. So maybe measurability is one aspect of it, and maybe making AR more personalized with the help of maybe AI, right? And artificial intelligence could be one another option that we can kind of look at into a whole picture and kind of making it an end-to-end journey for a user and for a marketer as well to make it a success.
Thank you so much, Khushbu. Okay, Irene, I want to understand, like, how do you foresee integrating the AR experience as a part of Indian consumer journey?
Okay, so I think when you talk about the Indian consumer journey, there are two parties that need to come to this gala to actually make it a reality, and that's the marketer and the consumer. Now, if you look at the consumer, and I think Khushbu just touched upon Gen Z, what we do know about the Gen Z population is, and all the research that we have done in not just in India but even globally, is that they are all about connections. So it cannot be just a personalized experience that I have, however immersive it might be. I should be able to connect, socially engage with more and more people. And I guess the success of certain digital platforms um, has been primarily because of the fact that it lets you connect with other people, have conversations. Now, this is the Gen Z. You have a Gen Alpha that's coming up, which has grown in the midst of a pandemic. There are two possibilities with this new generation. They could either be totally socially inept, or they could be hungry for social connections, even much more than the Gen Z. So being able to become that platform of a connector is an important, and a connecting experience is really going to be critical as part of the consumer journey. The second is, like any great advertising, and I think Ajay did mention this, being able to create content that tells the consumer not how great I am as a brand, but what is in it for them. Beyond education, because have you heard cases of brilliant use of AR? Yes, we have. Right from the use of links in the UK in 2011, all the way up to the recent examples of Tata Tea, OnePlus. We've read about it, we've heard about these. But being able to make that, when the minute you hit scale, the minute you want to access more and more consumers and invite them into the fold, you will need to very clearly call out, beyond education, beyond a one-time cool experience, what is in it for them from a convenience lens or from a value lens. A platform therefore would need to, and therefore it's not just about the technology, but it's about making the technology available in a platform like manner. It has to entertain, it has to engage, it has to enable them to explore and educate. From a marketeer's lens, why should the marketeer come into this gala? It's about the ease of content creation. One is important for them to be able to do that. And I'll refer to Samrat's point on digital. So while he said yes, there's a lot more digital storytelling that's happening. From our advertising database, what we do see is digital content brand storytelling has reduced drastically. It has ended up being how to, or it's ended up being educating you about my ritual or my brand usage, etc. So being allowing the marketeer to talk to the consumer and facilitating that by owning certain moments or occasions in the life of a consumer, that is what will turn things around and ensure that the immersive experience is then part of that journey for a consumer and enrich both the marketer as well as the consumer experience. Otherwise, the consumer is going to turn around and say, this is another tool, another platform where the marketer is targeting me to sell. And thank you, but no thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene. This is great and very insightful. Samrat, could you please share some highlights more in terms of efficiency and effectiveness of AR ads?
Okay, so Swagata, as when AR started, it was about experiencing a fun element into it and engage with that, and that's where brands started out. But now, from the brand's perspective as well as from the user's perspective, both have evolved further. Now, the usage of AR advertising has actually enriched consumers' shopping experience, and there are plethora of such examples while we interact on the platform of Snap, being a pioneer onto that, which is actually resulting in higher and effective brand engagement and ultimately driving the KPIs. Now, it not necessarily always has to be sales, but it could be anything depending on the objective that a brand wants to drive. Having said that, um, I would love to share two examples, and these are very great global examples where Snap, being a pioneer in the AR technology, how they have actually helped the brand in the overall full funnel success of these campaigns. So I'll talk about the first one, which actually is a intimate wear brand, globally known. They created a shoppable AR lens experience and enabling users to purchase via the lens directly. So you can experience it and then you go somewhere else and go out of the overall ecosystem to buy something is not the whole perspective. There could be a lot of dropouts or drop-offs that we could see. So the entire experience was built in and stitched in together. Having said that, the inclusion of that AR lens actually helped the brand to unlock both the incremental users and the audience and enhance their overall performance of the campaign. If I have to share a few numbers, as is in a global approved use case, I can. So they actually saw a 27% point lift in the ad awareness 9-point lift in purchase intent, and they managed to drive a more efficient cost per acquisition altogether. Now, there's another classic example. There's a global retail chain that drove a topical campaign. So one was pure with the sense of driving acquisitions. The second was to amplify during a topical event altogether. Now, the campaign name was Back to School. And again, the brand focused on camera ad products and vertical video content. They earned a brand advocacy, a higher share rate, and a substantial lift in the brand association. Now, having said that, all in all, from my point of view, AR in advertising is actually helping businesses to grow and drive an effective full funnel approach, which actually would help further. And as what Irene was actually rightly mentioning, it would help the brand to go further beyond to actually give those experiences and help the brands to purchase whatever they are looking at, or to take that action that they are actually on that platform for. So yeah, I mean, that's what my thoughts are.
Thank you so much, Samrat. I would like to ask this from Ajay and Khushbu. How do you think we could leverage the role of AR to uplift shopping experience that build purchase momentum?
Sure, I can go first, maybe Swagata. The 3 years at Scapic, no, almost a year at Flipkart, I think shopping is one of the biggest and closest use case we have worked in the augmented reality domain, which I've spent almost 5 to 6 years now in AR and VR industry. So I think it's so great to see. We started a journey with looking at how AR can, how to help people create AR content easily, and we were also throwing the dart in the dark that what will AR be used for. And we have pivoted multiple times back at Scapic from different use cases, and e-commerce is where, or retail and commerce is where we found a product market fit. And we realized at that point that commerce or retail is where augmented reality was not looked at one of the vanity metrics or one of the just cool things, but it was actually adding business metrics. And just to expand and explain on that, today we are living in a world where, especially after pandemic, there is a huge surge in the online users, right? People who shop online, online purchases rather. People like me who used to purchase online before have probably started buying those products online which we used to not buy online. I used to buy only few things online, but furniture and refrigerator, TVs are things which I couldn't even imagine buying online before. So this has created a new breed of online shoppers now who are now starting to purchase online. But if you look at the entire online shopping experience, it could be any platform, it's almost the same. It's the same 2D grid, it's the same images, the product page looks the same, you have cost, you have ratings, and then you're expecting this person who is mostly bought offline by looking at how big or small it is, how does it exactly look, how does it look on myself, and now you're expecting them with this 2D grid to go and purchase something. And that's exactly where augmented reality solves a critical real business problem. Ensuring you bridge the gap between an offline and online experience is what augmented reality makes it happen for a shopping experience. How does it help? It helps you understand the product better as if it's just in front of you in exactly the same size as it would if you're looking at it offline in a store. Trying it on yourself, and these are use cases which can enhance offline experience as well. We're today living in a world where if you want to buy any makeup product, lipstick, eyeliner, mascara, you wouldn't want to, even in an offline experience, use that which multiple people use and then try it on and then go and purchase. In online experience, it's even more harder. This leads to bad customer experience, or this leads to drop in conversions because they're not sure whether this is the right product to buy or not. And even after they buy, there are chances that they will return it because they didn't like the product. All of this can be solved by augmented reality. Augmented reality through camera helps a person place the product in the space as if it's in front of them, go around it, look at it exactly how it looks, look at how it looks in their space. They can actually place it, the TV on their wall or furniture in their living room, and see how it looks. Personalize things on themselves. It could be watches, it could be makeup, it could be eyewear or caps. All of it can be tried on yourself before you purchase, so you know exactly how does it look on you. And a lot of use cases around ensuring that you have a higher buying confidence, you convert better, and leading to actually lesser returns as well. So this leads to top line conversion impact, top line GMV impact, and also reducing returns. So AR in shopping is probably one of the, it's like wine and cheese, great combination, because it's not just cool, it's not just different, but it's actually helping you achieve great business metrics.
Thank you, Ajay. Khushbu, what are your thoughts on this?
I would like to add on what Ajay just mentioned. I think a lot of brands spend a lot of money goes into enabling return requests from user, right? And especially when there is a sale going, like a mass sale going on, people just go crazy about shopping, bulk in bulk, right? I mean, they'll be like shopping huge amount of clothes or makeup or whatever they want to, and then they would like look for return if they're not liking it after kind of trying it at home and being at their comfort zone, right? So I think to enable this entire usage of AR and entire shopping experience, AR can definitely help us make it more easy, make it more smooth as in the user journey, especially. And I think if brands and all the retailers, different brands, and start think about the target audience and how they behave in general, I think they will be able to make use of it very, very well. Something like, for example, I think one of the brand did a couple of years back. I can try clothes on, and because I would need my friends around in offline setup to tell me whether it's looking good or bad, I need my family or friends, I can't do that at this moment, maybe with all the filters. So if brands can enable that shareable experience, I think Irene also mentioned about having a conversation, So if I can initiate a conversation using that AR tool or AR technology, I think people will be more comfortable using it and thus more friendly to kind of try it out in their space. I think another thing, of course, I was reading something about this, that one of the brands started to kind of distribute, or they have a feature of you asking for samples, So let's say if I have to try a particular lip shade on, or different where I have a lot many options and I'm still not sure about whether it's going to look good on me or not, right? So you can ask for a sample, and that helps them kind of lesser wastage of money for a user, because they're not actually spending lots and lots of money just to buy a product and not using it ever again. And it helps brand also to kind of maintain the sustainability in the environment, right? So I think these are the important things for us to enable the usage of AR and in uplifting shopping experience.
Thank you so much, Khushbu. This is great. So, in a nutshell, what we understand from this panel discussion that AR results in voluntary time spent in a branded environment. Therefore, it gets higher attention. Incremental reach, because camera inventory is different from content consumer inventory. AR enables reasons to buy in a fun and an interactive way. Thank you all for taking out time today from your busy schedule. It was a great discussion. I'm handing over to you, Shiny. Thank you all.
Thank you for that wonderful session. I think my main takeaway has been that AR and e-commerce, like Ajay said, pair like wine and cheese, because of course, once you try on a product and you like it, you definitely want to purchase it. And how better to do it than with AR technology? I hope this conversation also answered a lot of questions for all of you. And I'm sure it'll help you bring AR strategy into your marketing mix. With that, we come to the end of this webinar on drivers of growth camera marketing. A huge shout out to Snapchat once again for partnering with AdTech in this initiative. Thank you and bye-bye.